Hey, how's it going? JPChivalry going live with Higurashi When They Cry. But more specifically, Higurashi When They Cry with Tanagashi, Chapter 2. So, I know the title says Chapter 3, but we gotta do one thing real quick. But also, let's do the scary truth for today, which is Monday, May 11th. Smoking contributes to heart disease, the number one cause of death in the United States. Cigarette smokers quadruple their risk for developing coronary heart disease. Wow. I think it would be fun to put on a Grim Reaper costume and go stand in the corner of a smoking room at the airport, just stand there with my sickle. I mean, you could do that if you want. I mean, that's fine. Oh, man. Alright, all crest review session. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Thank you very much for enjoying Higurashi When They Cry with Tanagashi. How did you like the story this time? Okay, so I disregard my opinion on that whole, I mean, it's weird, because, up until the point where you go into the house and then have a chat with, Mion, I was enjoying it. I don't know, it just felt excessive, but I guess that's the point, maybe, because she's unhinged. And then, thinking back to, like, other games like Metal Gear, Patriot AI, and all the AI talk, and it just goes on and on. But, I guess it's fine. It's okay. I will stand by that I think I enjoyed Chapter 1 more as, like, as an experience. But, it was interesting. I'm still intrigued. I'm still continuing with the story. That's why we're here right now. Oh yeah, I guess tomorrow, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. As far as, like, do we read up to a certain point? Or I guess we stop and then we play something else? I don't know. But, because I just feel bad about, like, 3-hour streams, even though we could do more, but it's just, like, I get tired out because of the reading. But anyways, let's finish this. How do you like the story this time? If you enjoyed it even a little, I'm happy. A little? Nothing. Not again. It was a huge bad ending again, was it not? It is enough to make me simply furious. I'm furious. Well, they died this time. Well, good work, everyone. Well, that's how it ended, but don't you think this story was kind of like a Mion chapter? I'm extremely satisfied with how big role I played. Yeah, ha ha ha. You cannot call such a thing a success. Rika and I got killed too, didn't we? That was a lot of bodies in this one. None of this concerned Totoko at all either. Wah, I didn't want to die like that. No, don't cry. There's a story centering around Michan, so there will probably be one that centers around Satoko-chan too. Look forward to it. Satoko would definitely get attacked by a crowd of weirdo bullies and abused to death. Wah, I don't want that. Wah. Well, Michan, if you joke around too much, you'll make me angry too. Me has a flat chest. Your mind wouldn't understand even if it wanted to be petted. What? Oh, they expanded. Your body is so unchaste. Hey everyone, great work. Sorry we're late again. Tamazaki-san, Oishi-san. Yes, you did a great job as well. We're at Takano-san and Shion-chan. They're coming, of course. Thank you for inviting us today. May I sit here? Yes, go right ahead. With all of us here, this is sure to be the best part. Please, go easy on me. Was she there last time? Then should we get started? Is this everyone? Everyone but Keiichi? Oh yeah. Which means Maebara-kun still doesn't have a portrait, so we're gonna read the scripts for the next story immediately? How unfortunate. Doesn't feel right to leave him out. Mio-san, you don't have to worry about that. At times like these, going all out is actually a way of showing consideration. That's true, isn't it? We're all here for once. Holding a wake would be boring. Then, sorry Keiichi-kun, but we'll take things from here. No phone call this time? It's decided. Okay everyone, get the cups. Does anyone not like carbonated drinks? There's alcohol for the adults too. Rika-chan, what will you have? Cola? Juice? Me. I want what Tomataki's having. Hey, Rika-chan, you're not allowed to drink. Has everyone got their cups? If we don't make it so soon, my juice will get warm. Who will lead, Mion? Rena should do it. Okay, Rena, go ahead. Then, everyone, excellent work. The Batonagashi chapter is now over. Thank you. Wah, clap, 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 clap. Okay, everybody's here. Shall we debate the story again? I think so. Then let's get some honest opinions. Does anyone here have something to say? An honest opinion? Was the story this time not an answer chapter? The criminal was Mion-san. The root of all the evil was the Sonozaki family. Was that not the conclusion? I see. I was so sure that Mi-chan wasn't the criminal. Too naive. This is entirely predictable from the previous Onakakushi chapter, wasn't that? In fact, it's almost shocking how predictable it was. You're right. Probably did align with most of the predictions made by players of a previous scenario. It's like the story went exactly as everyone expected. Then, does that mean the main Higurashi when they cry scenario is pretty much over? So it's a sure thing that the root of everything was Mi-chan's family? I wonder. In fact, I think that this all means this theory of the Sonozakis being the guilty party has been disproven. Oh, you had the same opinion, Mio-san? Like the same way. But I still don't believe in curses. At the very least, however, I think the chances of the Sonozaki family being the true criminals has gone down. Huh? Why is that? Didn't Mi-chan confess that she killed everyone? That's right. She killed Rika and me, so what do you mean that she isn't the criminal after all that? I'm not trying to confuse you or anything. It's just that I think there are a lot of things that don't go along with Mion being the one behind everything. If you think about it a little, you'll get it. Huh? I believe the truth to be more or less in line with the Sonozaki family theory. But I'd love to hear your theory, Mion-chan. Then hear me out. Near the end, I confessed that I participated in the past incidents, right? I thought something wasn't really right about that, so I guess that's my basis. I mean, think about it. If the incidents of the past were caused by the Sonozaki family, that would be crazy. I mean, wouldn't they all be perfect crimes? They're all attributed to other criminals or simple accidents, after all. Well, that's right. The Sonozaki family is very powerful. They're acting behind the scenes. Wouldn't pulling off perfect crimes be child's play for them? That's just it. That's the weird thing. The Sonozaki family have been killing and erasing people so well for the last 4 years they didn't even let out a hint that they were behind it, right? But the incident in the 5th year, now that was really cheap. They were killing and erasing people at random. Any idiot could have seen the connection with the Sonozaki family. Now that I think about it, you're right. The incidents in the past were all mysterious and nobody could tell if they were because of the curse or just simple crimes. But then on the 5th year, they suddenly got really violent. I don't understand what you're saying. Rika, do you? She means that if the Sonozaki family were real criminals, then they would have done a much better job with the incident on the 5th year. So what does that mean? Mion-san wasn't the one who killed Rika and me, but it was the work of the demon who possessed Mion-san? Come now. Just like I thought last time, Mion-san wasn't a bad person after all, was she? That's right. Sawako-chan and I both thought that she was doing bad things because she was possessed by something. Then, does that mean our theory was right? I've been supporting the curse theory since the last after party, and the story this time makes me all the more convinced it's true. That fact, revealed at the very end, the information regarding how Mion-san and Takano-san had died days before despite being witnessed, seems to indeed support that theory. Oh my. see the curse believers who seemed unconfident last time have grown quite a bit more self-assured. Do any of those who think it was a human have any objections? Last time, Michan and Rika-chan were the ones who thought it was the work of a person. Tomodachi-san did too, didn't he? Okay, let's hear what you got then. You got me there. Can't quite find the right words. One of the pieces of evidence for the curse theory is the mismatching times of death, right? So if I could disprove that theory, it would prove that a human did it, wouldn't it? Oh, Shion, do you have a good objection? Well, I suppose. I have the same opinion as you, Mion, that it was a human, but I don't think the Sonozaki family would have been culprits either. If it's okay with you, I'll offer my objections. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Show us what you've got. If you say it wasn't a curse, then let's hear your evidence. Okay, Shion-chan. That last trick we've been talking about. Despite Mion-chan having died the day of the incident and fallen into the well, how did she appear days later to kill you and Keiichi-kun? Here it is. My Sonozaki sister's conspiracy theory. My reason is simple. If Mion was dead by that time, then the only one who could have stabbed Kei-chan was me. I disguised myself as Mion and stabbed him. Then I went back to my room, pretended I have a tussle with the ghost, then jumped right down and killed myself. Makes sense. So when you get down to it, Mion-chan, in this case, would be the one to take the blame. She would take care of the mayor in person, and Shion-chan would be made into merely a victim. If she hid herself in the well, the disguised Shion-chan would show up where she pleased, and murder whoever she wanted, planned from the start. I get it. Then Mion-san made two mistakes. First was that her corpse was found, and second was dying when she only planned to hide. That's what it would mean. Oh, well, no. You're right. There is something logical about that. But that's not the full story. However, I'm still not convinced. It was too different from the magnificent perfect crimes in the past. Even if their plan went well, Mion would end up the bad guy, wouldn't she? She would either have to hide the rest of her life, or live pretending to be Shion, wouldn't she? That'd be too constrained. Can't call that a perfect crime. In other words, whether by dying or disappearing, he would have to go away. Rika-chan, that's a good thought. That means we should consider that Mion Sonozaki leaving the stage was part of their plan. That's why, at the end, Mion took the blame for all the incidents in the past. She took responsibility for all of them herself, then left. By doing that, she could cover up the true culprit behind the past incidents, which means that this incident wasn't shabby. Its purpose was to cement all the past incidents as perfect crimes. Suppose that's what it comes down to? The young leader of the Sonozaki family, who was the biggest suspect, confessed to everything and disappeared. For her, or perhaps the non-Sonozaki, true culprit, there likely was no more favorable outcome. I don't understand, even an inch of your conversation. What do you mean by Mion-san taking the blame? Is she not the culprit? Let me put it this way. The true culprit behind the serial freak death incidents was somebody else. Michan gave a fake confession that caused all the previous incidents to protect that person. Or so everyone's saying. My, I said this during the story, but it seems we have an incredible detective on our hands. Yes, it does seem a bit persuasive. An incident started to throw the scent off the true criminal. That's my reasoning. Though if I go further, I think the true culprit isn't part of the Sonozaki family. So is Mion-chan disrupting the incident to further protect the mystery person who pulled off perfect crimes for 4 years running with them? That's right. The site foreman only appeared in name in the last story. Pretty suspicious if you ask me. Only appeared in name. Amazing. It really does all add up. Clap, clap, clap. I still think the Sonozaki family and the sisters are the culprits, though. An incident caused by the sisters to sever their old feathers to the three families to clear away the past. That's my theory. Clearing away the past. You mean that they placed the blame for the three families' crimes on their final leader, Mion, to put an end to a dark history, then the two of them left? That's right. It would make it a sad story where we sisters finally choose to end it after a lot of worry. Haha, we went a little too far. Amazing. It really does all add up. Clap, 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 clap. Wait, what? Looks like Rika-chan has an opinion too. Go ahead, Rika-chan. I have a question for y'all. Why did Keiichi need to get stabbed? I already know why that is, Rika. It's obviously because he went in the Forbidden Storehouse without asking. Thinking back on it now, Tomitaka-kun and Takano-san probably died in the previous story because they snuck into that storehouse, eh? Giggle. That is rather strange indeed. Huh? What is it that's strange? Ah, Reno-san, that's right. Won't you think back, please? That's right. In the previous scenario, they were after Keiichi's life even though he didn't sneak into the ritual storehouse. Well, that's because... yeah. Namazawa hates outsiders, right? That's why they tried to kill Keiichi-kun. That would be strange, though. They should have attacked Kei-chan's parents, too, in that case. No matter how you look at it, though, his parents never seem to be in much danger. Either this time or the last. Hear that, everyone who thinks it was the humans doing? Unless you can properly explain the reason Keiichi-san's life was threatened, can't definitely prove the criminal was human, can you? Nahahaha. Even with the curse theory, however, we don't know why Meibara-san was attacked this time or last time. With a little more, we would have had it. There are still a lot of mysteries remaining. Vehicle. We can find some kind of reason for everyone but Keiichi-kun to die, but for some reason Keiichi-kun's death is always vague. Both this time and last time. He was being targeted regardless of whether he went to the ritual storehouse. And does that not mean he was doing something that got him killed both last time and this time? I see. If we can find something in common about Meibara-kun's actions between last time and this time, it seems like it would be the key to unraveling all the incidents. I skimmed through the stories again, but I think he's gone about his life in his own way. Though aside from the part with the storehouse, I didn't spot anything suspicious about his daily lifestyle. Keiichi-kun, what did you do both last time and this time? Something bad that would cause you to be killed? It's best to ask the person himself when you're unsure. There's the phone call. Oh, so while I was reading the script for the next game all by myself, you were all talking about me behind my back, huh? I see. Well, that's that. Anyway, Keiichi-kun, you should try asking your own heart. Kei-chan, so what kind of bad thing did you do that would get you killed? Must surely be all the violent things he does towards me. Squeezing my chest so tightly was surely a crime. Yeah. Being happy all day, surrounded by girls all around his age, it's kind of like a crime in the first place. A great crime indeed. Meibara-san is truly an envious main character, isn't he? Switch out with me once in a while, would you? Coo. Well, with all those perks, getting stabbed at the end really isn't much of a price to pay. Well, there you go, Keiichi-san. Do you remember the crimes you committed? Both this time and last time. I live a proper and just life, and I always meet a terrible fate in the end. What was that about? Ask my own heart. I'm the one who wants to know. This is bullying. How sad. I'll pet your head next time for you. Wonder if we should go back and read Onikakushi again after reading this one. I'm gonna put myself in Mion's shoes and read back over Watanagashi. Maybe I'll find something different compared to when I read it from Kei-chan's point of view. I always think it was the doing of a demon. All events and tricks can be explained with a demon. It's kind of like plasma. What did you, the readers, think about it? I'd certainly like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Through the mail? Is there an address? Well, that's that. It was like 20 minutes. That's fine. What time is it? 7:05? Okay. So we'll try to do at least, well, I don't know how long the first chapter is going to be, but based off that, we'll see how far we go. Tanagashi Party. Yeah, that's it for Tanagashi. It was fun. It was good times. Now let's see. Whoops. About chapter 3. Tatarigoroshi. Let me go ahead and properties. That one. I think we do Alt Enter. Alright, there we go. And then do FC, BTV. Oh, I guess there's no chat in the first part. That's fine. Because I think we're going to split it. I'm not too sure about that. I guess we'll see. Which house is this? I don't recognize this photo. Now, let's go ahead and move that there. Hide window. Confirmation boxes. On. Right. Okay. Okay. Guess we're good. Put that there. Let's go ahead and start. The shortest scenario? What? Hold on. Let me real quick. Forget I don't really have a chance to drink during this. Man, curse, or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? Look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You'll probably not even be able to make conjectures. Because of this one? Oh. There's the creepy laugh again. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had thought not to do with what happened outside the well. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Huh. This work of fiction, any resemblance to actual person's organization is entirely coincidental. 1983, the early summer of the 58th year of the Showa era. So it's the shortest scenario? Really? How does that work? It was a very humid day. I mean, a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. Like, what determines the changes, I wonder? Like, does the funeral still happen at the beginning? Or... and then me going on the job more? I don't know. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment and windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the side of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. A lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a two-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it?" So we're not taking the perspective of Keiichi this time? Whew, you've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here. Hehehe. Oh, right, landlord. Didn't think that would be the first thing he said. Ah, sorry. Fluorescent lights, right? Completely forgot. Hehehe. No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about it. I've been smelling it since this morning. Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewers get backed up again? Do something about it, landlord. I had to keep my nose plugged all day long. Still plenty lovely, plugging your nose, my dear. There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, created an awful stench in the summertime. Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate. Well, yikes. It's completely blocked. It'll start back up if you poke it with a stick. The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out. Wait, landlord, stop that. If it makes it all strange, if you do that, it'll smell terrible. It smells if it's clogged. It smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose? He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. Yeah, it's a dead cat. This is the health center's job. Cats and dogs smell awful when they die. Bamboo pole's not going to do much good. Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in there. Is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stinks. The nerve of some people. Gross. The drainage channel was already unsanitary, but was a little more garbage at this point. The stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now his channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. Two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah, we've got maggots, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in. Gross. What? Landlord, what's that? What? Just more garbage. Landlord, that's... Huh? Eh? Eek! Oh, hello. Good work today. What a terrible stench. Hey, someone cover this thing with a tarp. It's in plain sight of the 2-floor houses. Identity of deceased, unknown. Sex, female. Age, estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death, about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked too? Figuring out who she is will be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. Probably weighed her down so she'd sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why in a drainage sewer of all things? Would have been better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know? And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it so she would be found? As a warning or something? The slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from fishing at her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sort of traditional punishments? Ask Shuge-san in Section 4 if he's had any trouble with the Yakuza. On it, sir. Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out like that look sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles will pop out. See? Urgh. Please, give me a break. Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off? That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them, on both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway? That's not the... I'm like trying to think back to like previous murders. I think it's a new one, right? Because there was the foreman, there was the fall off the cliff, priest dying, housewife was beaten to death, right? The most relaxing time during the school day, lunch for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always and we all ate together. I'm guessing this present day, maybe? Oh my, Yon-san, if I may say, your lunch looks quite appetizing today. There's so many different things, it's wonderful. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa. Or is it a flash forward? Because that's a possibility too, right? I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the others were having a drinking party at my house yesterday. It was like... He was like 20 years old. I guess there's Takana's son, but... I don't know. I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat. So that's why they all look like snacks you could have with sake. They're but leftovers, mere scraps of food, but when arranged in a bento box so cleanly, they look impressive. Looks like part of a full-course meal at a high-class restaurant. People seem to decide if they like things mainly based on their first impression. So that maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it. You may seem unrefined, Mion-san, but you are positively splendid at arranging food like this. Her room is nice and tidy too. Mii-chan is a lot more organized and polite than everyone thinks. It's all the same once in your stomach. It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. Can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. I see. She is our club president, after all. Yours is nothing to scoff at either, Rena. Your crab kamaboko flower is very pretty. You know, Rena, your lunch always has, like, an art to it. Look, it has rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff. Rena's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like, like she always puts her heart into it, or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm. Hahaha, thanks. It's not quite as good as Michan's, but I wanted to make it really cute. How? Cooking is about skill, it's about love. In that sense, I don't even come up to your feet. Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rena put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento is like. The taste isn't all that counts for a bento. How it looks also matters. I suppose we must learn from this too. Huh? So let's see Satoko and Rika-chan's up-and-coming bento. Whoa! Ta-da! Whoa! Yesterday our neighbors shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento. These ones too. They had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table. Wow. At first it looks like the kind of crude bento that a jock would eat, but there are so many different things in here. Like boiled spinach and soy sauce and stewed hijiki. Rika-chan, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika-chan will make a great wife when she grows up. I have a tight hold on my future husband. A husband for Rika-chan? Huh. At first, that sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people. Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. Huh. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. What's wrong? Wrong? Cough, cough. Don't make us choke if you shout like that so suddenly, you know? There's rice coming out of your nose, Satoko. I'd forgotten. All this stuff about cooking for yourself, it applied to me too. Also, what? Keiichi, your mom and dad need to go to Tokyo again for business. Yeah? Yawn. Sleepy. Your dad's mentor fell ill right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event, and they need someone to fill in. Well, Dad does what he has to do for his job. Choo-choo. It's your dad and I, you see. We need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days depending on what happens. That sounds annoying. Yawn. While we're gone, we won't be here, so you need to make your own meals yourself. You okay with that, Keiichi? I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate. Is that so? That's a relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you make miso soup as well. Then you just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal. A meal? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. Choo-choo. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot with boiling water too. Well, think of something. Choo-choo-choo. If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need much money, do you? No eating out, it's too expensive. You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all. Yep. I'll get by. No, I won't. What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such crazy empty promises. Just like manga characters always do at a time like these, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scritch, scratch. Huh? Keiichi-kun, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while they're gone. Anyway, food. My parents aren't here. I have to make it all myself, you know? This is a huge emergency. Hey, Sora. Hi, Mr. Dare here. How's it going? Should you not simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi-san, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously? Listen here. My mom taught me how to cook that curry when we camp, and that's the best I can do. I can't eat curry 3 meals a day. So wait, okay, for the curry party? So this is like closer to what, a Tanagashi festival? I mean, it's just junk food in the first place. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely... Ugh. That's stupid. Shh. Mion and Satoko put their hands over my mouth. Wait, what? Can't curry 3 meals a day. Oh, the teacher. Gotcha. Alright, that makes sense. A moment later, the door rattled open and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in. Did I just hear somebody bad-mouthing curry? No, we didn't say anything. Everyone's faces went totally white, and they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just the teacher's ordinary stare. Is that so? Must have been the wind. Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. They've been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, that teacher is terrifying. Kei-chan, you can disparage other foods all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least as long as you live in Hinamizawa. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I said. But still, I can't have curry for every meal. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup, and a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice you make yourself is really good. This old man thinks it's more of a pain than good. But experiencing it every once in a while might be nice. That's right, life is all about experiences, right? Satoko is like, I don't know, she's very cheerful this time. When you cut your fingers on or burn yourself, it's so sad, so very sad. Less bullying, it seems. With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried, too. Though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. I'm pretty uneasy about it, but you're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time our club does a cooking showdown. Oh ho ho ho! You are correct. That clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time after all. As if scorning me, Satoko ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika-chan back then, didn't you? What did you cook at the time, exactly? You put a bag of salt in Rena's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pan. I relapsed in my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calm my unquellable anger by pinching Satoko's ears. So he does the thing with the Shion happen again? Ow. My attack was because that's what they were doing for club. It may not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking. Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one carrot during the showdown and had to get Rika to do it. Don't be so daft. People get better every day, you know. If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken. Right, Rika? I have to watch, or else I'll get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off too. Wahahaha, everyone burst into laughter. That shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that. I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but crap cup ramen. But Satoko can cook pretty well for herself, you know? Right now, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that. No, she's not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika-chan's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Satoko has mastered the basics too, right? At the very least, she can cook rice and miso soup. Well, she can't quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, though. They're both the same anyway once you boil them. Satoko erupted in anger, making 2 fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that. Wahahaha. Gahahahaha. Nah, the others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed at by you, Keiichi-san. Gahahahaha. Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill. But at least I'm confident I'd never lose to you, Satoko. Not to you, at least. Wow. What was that? You have the gall to say you're confident? That's what's daft here. I might not seem like a good cook, but I take turns with Rika, you know. I can cook just fine for myself, thank you. I see. Good for you for being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. I patted Satoko on the head while I made fun of her. Satoko seemed to know I was making fun of her, too, since her face went bright red very quickly, and steam started to pour out like she was a kettle. Nah, you don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi-san. I see. And if you can tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it. Meh. The green one is broccoli. Or, no, the yellow one. Cauliflower is red? Blue? Green? Meh. Come on now. What color is broccoli? It's not red, blue, green, like a television. Come on, say it. Say it. Meh. Satoko can cook just fine without knowing what color broccoli is, right? Good for you. Wah. Stupid KK. Wah. Oh, it's nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle. If you're going to act so smug, then you can surely show us something better than Satoko, remarked Mion, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking. But the situation carried me along, and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight, I'll make the best darn meal you've ever seen. I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be so surprised you'll fall over. That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow. Rika-chan petted me on the head. Her words of can't wait sounded so transparent. Ren is excited too. I promise I won't laugh no matter what you make. Alright, so maybe I'll go all out on my bento tomorrow too. Then let's do this. Let's have a bento showdown. Tomorrow, as a club activity of course. And we'll throw in a punishment game too. My, what an ingenious idea that is. How is that, Keiichi-san? I'll give you one chance to back down. Sayoko wiped her tears and snarled at me as if this was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, now's my chance. What came out of my Keiichi Mibaro's mouth was a statement so reckless it even frightened me. Yeah, you're on. My bento tomorrow will knock you right out of your shoes. So cocky. Whoa! Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so irresponsible. So, Mion-san, what sort of fantastic punishment game will we have to play if we lose? Satoko grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game. Coo. Let's see. Okay, how about this? Whoever loses tomorrow's bento showdown during lunch break tomorrow has to go up to Chie-sensei's as she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry. Wow. Me-chan, that's... How terrifying. Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curry that she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her, and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke. Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill. Rena and Mion and Satoko, everyone nodded deeply in agreement. Although Keiichi-san's problem might be his own dinner tonight, rather than tomorrow's bento. Ho 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 ho. Ha! How disappointing that you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm gonna make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it. That is quite a lot of grandstanding. You do know what will happen if you come to us with something terrible, right? Cuckoo cuckoo. I just can't wait how much trouble you'll be in with Chie-sensei tomorrow, Satoko. Cuckoo cuckoo. Yes, I can't wait either. To see you, Keiichi-san, groveling before her and begging for forgiveness. saying it all with tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now. What was that? Yank. Nah. Stretch. Both of us, on the verge of tears, pull on each other's cheeks. Stretch. Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Kei-chan, that's so manly. That isn't manly or anything of the sort. It is called being reckless. You can't even cook well. Stretch. Haha. Rena believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento. I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi tomorrow as well. Their expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Satoko a little. How did it come to this? Yeah. You better look forward to it. How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? In the bento showdown tomorrow. No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Chie-sensei's face, what'll happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. So it's gotta be like closer to Watanagashi, right? What day is it? That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time, my meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. Now that I thought about it, and also what determines going treasure hunting with Rena. Now that I thought about it, it made Mom seem amazing for playing 3 meals every day of the year. I've complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. More importantly, what am I going to do about the punishment game tomorrow? And besides that, what am I going to eat tonight? Boo-hoo. Keiichi-kun, Keiichi-kun. Huh? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about stuff. About what to make tonight? Or about the bento showdown tomorrow? Urgh. She hit the mark, and I couldn't find anything to say. And my facial expression made obvious the fact that she hit the mark. For tomorrow's showdown, I think that if you do your best to make a bento, you'll be fine. There's nothing superior to a bento you try really hard to make all by yourself. Tomorrow's showdown is one thing, but what about dinner tonight? You might suddenly get food poisoning. I couldn't make any more bluffs. I exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Rena laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that. Keiichi-kun, you don't have any confidence in your cooking at all, do you? Ha 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 ha. So I've been found out. Ugh. If it looks like you can't do it, no matter how hard you try, you can always give Rena a call. Really? But only if you try really hard first, okay? You can't rely on others without first struggling yourself. Rena seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. I don't always seem like an adult at these moments. If I absolutely can't do it, I'll call you. Though the chances are extremely high. Go for it. Yay! You were grandsaying so much to Satoko-chan that you have to try your best. Hey, how about Satoko? How good is she at cooking? Ha ha ha. She's at least better than you. That was so direct, it hit me pretty hard. You were making fun of her a lot, too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little, huh? Giggle. Rena, you're pretty mean. Rena isn't all cute. All cute? Ha ha ha. Now that I've provoked Satoko that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am. Okay, bye. Good luck on the cooking. Show everyone that you can do it if you really try. Yeah. I waved my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Rena disappeared past the trees. Well, halfway point. Sorry, night time. Oh. These transitions. Fine, I'm desperate. So what? I may not know the ABCs of navigation, and I have neither a sea chart nor a compass. But still, one idiot is taking on the ocean of the great cooking age alone. And his name is Ch.3. Let's go. Time to cook. My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone, and cooking is probably the top contender. Therefore, even though it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. I made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. I was on the hunt for a cookbook. My mom should have had a few of them. For a complete amateur like me, the first thing I needed was information. Just like he who had crossed the oceans needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Oh, here's one. It's worn out. Wrinkled cover made it feel somehow reliable. Okay, as long as I've got this. Well, it's easier to give it a shot than think about it, right? Anyone can concoct the tastes of a gourmet chef as long as they have a cookbook. Cookbooks are great. And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest, I flipped through the pages. However... Whoa. Played with technical terminology like toys. Just couldn't see how to actually make things. You know it all along, Ch.3. If anyone can make delicious food just by reading a book, then there would be no such job as gourmet chef in the first place. First of all, it calls for 3 teaspoons, but which spoon is that? And it keeps saying that use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? Stop using such obscure expressions. Strain out the water in a colander. Add salt and pepper to the taste. What the heck is a colander? And strain it out? Like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like meat. Besides, how much salt and pepper is that supposed to be anyway? Aren't there any beginner-friendly guides in here? Won't do you any good to yell. Cool off, Ch.3. Think calmly. Calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. The rice is more important. Have to cook the rice, or I can't start. I know a little about how to cook rice. I didn't cook it with my camping kit when camping all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. That should be enough water. And which switch is it? Is it this button? Oh, the lamp turned on. Yeah. Fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures, after all. Now, pleased by the rice cooker set, I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. The miso soup I made at day camp was all the instant kind, after all. Well, it'd be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water, no doubt. I'll boil the water, put in the miso. Huh? How much should I put in? Let's see here. Use the proper amount according to the number of people and your taste. Enough with the vague expressions. Fine then. I'll put in the proper amount. I crushed the bag of miso in my fist and put half of its contents in the pot. What? Is this really okay? Maybe this is a little too hearty. They do say miso soup is best when it tastes strong. Come to think of it, my mom's miso soup is a little thin. Maybe I'll like it better with this much in it. I said it aloud as if trying to convince myself. Then, convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup were probably fine. Next, the side dish. What should I make? Something I could make that would add color to the meal? That's it. I'll only stir fry some vegetables. You can eat vegetables raw too, and they won't die just from a little bit of fire. I was so cute then, not realizing that the level of my thoughts had fallen from what would look great in a meal to what would be easy to make. There were quite a few vegetables in the refrigerator. What kind of vegetables go in a stir fry? Bean sprouts, cabbage, chives, onions. Can you put cucumbers and lettuce in? For now, I grabbed a nearby cutting board, cut them into chunks, and tossed them into a wok. This has gotten pretty exciting. Is the true worth of men's cooking? Hey, this is actually getting kind of fun. All of a sudden, there's a pile of vegetables in the wok. Alright, next is the salad oil. Glug glug glug, with the salad oil. It'd be more exciting if I filled it to the brim. Whoops, a bit leaked out. Well, no point in worrying about something so minor. The great Ch.3's cooking is exciting. Okay, let's turn on the heat. What? Oh. Whoosh. Salad oil filling the wok to the brim caught fire, and flames reached up to the sky. Amazing! Maybe I can be an Iron Chef too. What if I'm really good at cooking with fire? Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Was Iron Chef a thing back then? Gahahaha. Yes, I am an Iron Chef. Ow, hot hot hot. Right as the crazy pillar of flame started to burn the ceiling, I finally realized that the fabulous cooking before my eyes had culminated in an actually life-threatening disaster. Oh god. Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? The force of the flame grew stronger and stronger. Wait, what? What? Gah! What in the world are you doing? You must stop the flames, assistant! Good thwack. Somebody forcibly struck me in the back of the head. What? What? When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, I saw Totoko and Rika-chan there. Eh? Totoko? Rika-chan? As I stood in wonder at their unexpected entrance, Totoko shoved me out of the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika-chan got a towel, soaked it in water, spread it out, and placed it over the pot. She continued soaking more towels and put a second on, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. All of it had happened in a few moments. Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air. Wait, what are you doing to my house? You're trespassing on private property. How'd they get in? Yes, well, Keiichi-san, you've been caught red-handed in the act of arson. It was just about to turn into a huge building fire, wasn't it? It would be very, very sad if Keiichi was homeless after this. And after pretending to be an Iron Chef, I finally began to take in this situation. So, I was really about to set the house on fire? Okay. Just checking my messages. Okay. Is that not obvious? Just look at it. The ceiling is all sooty, is it not? Chimneys are the only things that should be sooty. Silko is seriously mad at me. Maybe they saved my life. But how'd they get in? According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my fiery cooking that I hadn't noticed when Totoko and Rika-chan rang the doorbell. But they could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did. Just didn't lock the door. If Totoko and I hadn't come, the fire engines would have been going wee-woo right now. Keiichi-san, do you understand now how serious this was? At some point, I had sat down on my knees as I listened obediently. I'm sorry. You two saved my life. We thought we would come and see what a fabulous dinner you made. But as we thought, it's a mess. At this rate, we won't even need to look at your bento. You're mean. So you and Rika-chan came all this way just to see what I'd make for dinner? Us being mean and saved your house and your life, is that not something to take to heart? Yes. I'll be sorry, Totoko-san. At this point, having shown them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs. I'd completely surrendered. And yet, you tried really hard on the curry. Where did the Keishi-san from back then go? Jeez. Urgh. I had our underclassmen help me then. Just borrowed entire pots from the other teams. Didn't really cook anything. Keishi-san, you cheated? Jeez, you might have been doing what our club usually does, but that was terrible. Pouring salt into the other team's pot seemed far more terrible to me. But Satoko was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hanged my head to her. By the way, Keiichi-san, this terrible pot. This wasn't supposed to be miso soup, was it? Satoko stared at the pot, totally full of miso, with an awful expression. So I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look on Satoko's face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore. Forget the miso soup. The rice should be cooked just fine. Rice cookers these days are pretty convenient. It should be just about done. Meat? It's not cooked. See? The inside is still all watery. Eh? What? When I switched it on, the little light came on. Keiichi-san, the button you pushed was the timer button, okay? Set for breakfast, so it won't turn on until tomorrow morning. So then what? In the end, I don't have a side dish or miso soup? Or even rice? Couldn't make anything myself? Oh, ho ho ho. Serves you right. So, have you finally realized your place? Come. Admit it. Say it. I, Keiichi Mibara, am all bark and much crummier cook than Satoko Hojo-san. Yeah, I'm a terrible person and a crummier cook than Satoko. I beg your forgiveness. Gah. I fainted in agony. Rika-chan pat my head, satisfied at the sight. And Satoko laughed loudly in triumph. I've completely lost. What was that sound effect? In the end, I talked big, but couldn't make a single dish adequately. At this rate, I'll go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast, and no bento for lunch either. Didn't know how many days it would be before my parents returned, but at this rate, without a doubt, I'll starve to death! Meat. Of course, I'll have no bento tomorrow either. Meat. I'm sure to get the punishment game tomorrow. Yeah! Meep. Rika-chan kept patting on my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Satoko, completely appalled at how unsightly I looked, heaved a hairy sigh. Adult men are just so pathetic, aren't they? Come on. Please, move yourself out of the way. As I sobbed like a girl, Satoko, displeased, brushed me aside, dumped the remains of the miso soup into the sink tidy, then began to rinse out the pot. Don't worry about it, Satoko. I can at least clean up after my own mess. I couldn't have Satoko clean up the cooking utensils I'd made a mess of. But when I tried to stop her, Rika-chan pulled on my clothes. Keiichi, you can just be silent and watch. She grinned as she said it. But be quiet and watch? What are you saying, Rika-chan? She meant just what she said. Keiichi-san, just be quiet and leave this to me. Satoko turned around and declared, seeming bothered. As if to say that amateurs should keep their hands off. Her annoyed expression was a little scary. Leave what to you? Satoko didn't answer. Instead, she spun back around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator. Hey, wait, don't mess with them too much. If you turn the place inside out, my mom might get mad at me later. Would you just be quiet already? Men aren't supposed to enter the kitchen. Rika. Aye aye, sir. Satoko snapped her fingers and Rika-chan got on her tiptoes, grabbed me by the back of my neck, and started dragging me away. Leaving Satoko alone in the kitchen, Rika-chan dragged me back into the living room. Hey, stop, Rika-chan. Let me go already. If you leave it to Satoko, the kitchen will be a disaster. No. Satoko came to see how she beat you today. It's her revenge. Revenge? Come to think of it, her face looked kind of grim. Eventually, from the kitchen, there was the sound of a faucet being twisted and the stove dial being turned. I began to hear the nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time. The refrigerator opening and closing, ingredients being cut on the chopping board. What did that mean? Was she cooking? Keiichi made fun of her quite a lot. Satoko wanted to show you that she can cook proper meals too. Urgh. Just listening to it like this. There haven't been any sounds of blood spilling or bursting or explosions. At this point, at least, she had proven she was more skillful cook than me. In the cooking showdown with Satoko Hojo versus Keiichi Mubara, it looked like victory had already been decided. I recalled Satoko's slightly annoyed expression from before. I was making fun of Satoko too much today, wasn't I? Is she holding a grudge? We were just provoking each other with our usual back and forth. But I also think I maybe overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Satoko, who could cook for herself, and I'd never cooked other than for recreation before. Satoko isn't holding very much of a grudge. But she came all the way to my house and pushed her way in. She's gotta be mad. I quietly took a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Satoko. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk, to the point where it was a little scary. Then, she must have noticed me, because she turned around and shot me an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out. She's mad. She's totally mad. How will she take revenge on me? That's just Satoko being serious because she doesn't want to fail. She isn't angry or anything. How can you say she isn't angry? I've never seen Satoko be this frightening. Keiichi-san, I can hear that, you know. Sorry. Jumped at Satoko's angry outbursts and faced towards the kitchen. I felt exactly like a kid who had done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge. Where do you keep the miso? The refrigerator is so big that I don't see any of it anywhere. I'm sorry. The miso it's on the middle shelf in the fridge and at the back left of the lower rack. What is this? You need to close the miso package after you finish with it. It's getting the inside of the refrigerator dirty, isn't it? God, I'm sorry. Before I can look for something to wipe it with, Satoko wiped it off with a wet dish towel. I swear, how are men so bad at cleaning up after themselves? I shudder to think that you'll become an adult like this. Urgh, I couldn't talk back to Satoko today. The only thing I could do was obediently lower my head and apologize. As Satoko nitpicked and I apologized, a good smell began to fill the kitchen. This is how you prepare the miso for the soup. Scoop a little out with the ladle and break it up with chopsticks. It's important to add a little at a time and keep tasting it. Dumping the entire thing into the pot is absolutely outrageous. Urgh, sorry. Never paid attention in home ec class. You're pathetic, I swear. Men. Grumble, grumble. I cowered at her annoyed-sounding muttering. But looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. I had just been overshadowed by Rena's and Rika-chan's artistic abilities. Satoko's skills were clearly enough to get passing marks. Hey, if you have time to zone out like that, then you can go set the table. Rika and I will be eating too, so set 3 places. On it. I hastily took 3 people's worth of dishes and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. When I returned there, I could hear laughter from a variety show on the television. Rika-chan was sprawled out on the couch, watching television and relaxing. When she noticed me putting the dishes out on the table, she came scampering up. Dinner time is soon. Dinner at Keishi's house. Nipa. What? Rika-chan, you're in a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from Satoko. Satoko isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time. Enjoying herself? Seriously? She's like how she was when her knee was with her. It really has been a long time since I've seen Satoko look like she's having so much fun. Nini? What the heck is Nini? Is it a sound cats make? Nini means brother. Satoko's older brother. Satoko's older brother? His name's Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before? Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school. Satoshi, huh? Anything? Satoko's older brother, huh? That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother, huh? Didn't know that. She does have one. Saying that, Rika-chan grinned even more brightly and went Nipa again. When Satoko was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. It really has been a long time since I've seen Satoko enjoying herself this much. However I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood. But her good friend Rika-chan was saying that it was actually the opposite. Is she really enjoying herself? She must be remembering the time she spent with her Nini. It's nostalgic. Nostalgic? Huh? Then does he live apart from Satoko? Maybe Satoko's older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her? Must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Satoko seems like she got along well with this Satoshi person. She did. The two of them got along very well. She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how well they got along. According to Rika-chan, Satoko supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We have me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Satoko, who redid it while scolding me. Could Satoko have been getting a glimpse of her brother, who now lived far away, through me? So she would always nitpick whatever Satoshi did, but she firmly supported him, and they got along well. Today, she was the one. She suggested we should go to Keiichi's house. She said, there's no way their unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him. Then she didn't come here to get revenge or to get even or anything like that? She couldn't leave you alone. Even now, Satoko was a proper little sister. I was an only child. I didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Of course, I've never had a little sister like Satoko, but I felt that in this moment, I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her. Without any teasing or messing around, I'm gonna give thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought. Keiichi-san, do you know where on earth the ladle is? Ah, sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right. I ran to the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Satoko. It's all done. Have you put the bowls and things out? Yeah. Everything's a-okay. Then let us have our meal. Rika, it's time for dinner. Me. I heard Rika-chan's effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Satoko turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up the pot of miso soup. Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi-san? Be careful not to flip it over, alright? Right. I'll be careful. I can carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Rice with steam billowing from it, and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all, or extravagant. It was a daily meal, sort a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness. Then let us eat. Thank you for the food. At Satoko's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a loud voice. I made light of you, Satoko. You've beaten me soundly. Oh ho ho! Do you have a better opinion of me now? I may still not be as good as Rika or Rena-san, but I can cook far better than the helpless Keiichi-san. Yeah, I know better now. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Satoko's expression finally softened, and she laughed with her normally loud and cheerful voice. Chomp chomp. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used the rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice my mom made. Maybe she used a different amount of water for it. Even so, I could feel Satoko's personality from the rice, which made it taste taste better than usual. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing, and I couldn't stop eating. The side dishes are well done too. Satoko, you're not a bad cook at all. I gave my honest impression, without a hint of sarcasm. Satoko seemed to have been expecting some, because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered and said, "Ho ho ho ho. Your praise honors me, but it's nothing so grand. The side dishes are just things I bought at the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open the can. I could only really make rice and miso soup myself," Satoko said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There was none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there, either. I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into something fairly splendid. My mom uses ready-made side dishes and canned goods too. Something to be so embarrassed about. It was a fantastic dinner. I gave her honest praise. I've never met Satoko's brother, but Satoshi would probably praise her in the same way. Well, I suppose it's enough now that you've come to realize that I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left. Huh? Did that brat just awkwardly change the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy. When we eat rice like this, it's fun, like we're eating with Satoshi. Rika-chan mentioned Satoko's older brother's name again. Satoko's chopsticks paused, and she looked up at the ceiling. How nostalgic. I wonder what he could be doing right now. She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. From how it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. Satoko realized I was giving her a blank stare. I do apologize. Satoshi is my Nini. No, my older brother. Okay. I see. Nini must have been a nickname only Satoko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it. I was rather surprised a person with such few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up shop at some point and return out of the blue. So he ran away? There was another story to what Satoko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not have broached the subject at all? I hastily took a look at Satoko's face after thinking that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I'd been worrying about. Well, he's not old enough to be dreaming of living on his own. Nini won't be able to do it for long anyway. He has no endurance. Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think. Rika, you always take Nini's side right away. You're a little too nice to him. Satoko is just too harsh on Nini. You should treat him more kindly when he comes back. Satoko and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other. But I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic, too, even though he had run away from them. It was like they were going to see him again next week. Satoko and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him, believing he would surely return. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a really good guy. I thought Satoko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away. But she had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, as if to say that her brother could come back at any time he liked. I thought that Satoko didn't think through anything, and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was it. She was really... yeah. Why are you petting my head? I roughly rubbed a hand through Satoko's hair. I misunderstood you, Satoko. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Satoko seemed to think I was making fun of her, and tried to bat away my hand. But then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face, and immediately granted me her head. Yep. Satoko's level-headed. She sure is. I've been level-headed from the start. I was just playing pranks on you because you always do it to me. There was her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right. You were just doing it to go along with me. But you really were so level-headed. Good for you. Is that actually a compliment? Kind of seems like you're making fun of me. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I'm seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika-chan would be petting your head too. That's right, isn't it? When Rika makes fun of people, she usually pets their head. Meep. These canned sardines are delicious. Rika-chan went Nipa, and her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Satoko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself was so dull and simple that I never even thought people could be laughing like this around it. And then, I finally came to realize something really obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh? Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better. How rude. The food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously. This harmonious moment, this happy circle, it was completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic. Satoko, do you want to see Nini? I didn't say Nini. Call him my brother, please. Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this, Nini that this whole time. I grinned wryly and decided to just call him brother, like she told me to. Satoko, do you want to see your brother? Rika-chan stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Satoko's. Satoko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. Just from that, Satoko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now. But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi should just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of his lifetime. And then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him. Well, of course I want to see him again. It's been almost a year. It's been that long already? Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away. Well, Nini can do what he wants. It would lighten my load if he came back with more muscles and knowing how to do housework, of course. See? You said Nini again. You said it. I did not. I would never call Nini, Nini. Things rapidly returned to the usual, lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school. But nothing changed about Satoko's feelings towards her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi. Your sister is trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest and come back soon, got it? Well, I mean, Satoshi was acting like Keiichi in the first chapter, so things aren't looking good. Satoko, it's time to clean up or else we'll get sleepy. It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Satoko and I both then looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. No, perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything. Oh, this will not do. I still haven't washed the dishes yet. Don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner, so I can't let you do the dishes too. Are you sure you'll be alright? When people who are not used to it try and wash them, soap could make the dishes slip out of their hands, you know? Jeez, she's turned to a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile. Keiichi can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pettings at school tomorrow. Yawn. Rika-chan yawned again. Hey, Ham. How's it going? Hey, champ. I'm the champ? Hi. What are you up to? Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars. Of course you are. Aw, thank you. Is it really alright? Keiichi-san is pretty unreliable despite how he looks. Nothing much? Gotcha. I think Saturday is Terraria, right? It's gonna be fun! The usual what to play dilemma? Okay. You haven't looked into JRPGs or FPSs. Yes, oh my god, I'm so happy. I took a look at some of the updates. So I guess there's journey mode, there's the towns and pylons, and then they've rebalanced the bosses and some items, some weapons, armor pieces as well, armor set bonuses. Yep. Oh man, I'm so happy. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good update. I'm kind of curious about journey mode, because I mean, I guess it's like creative mode, but you have to like actually play the game. So it's interesting. Then you can customize the difficulty and spawn rates and stuff. Creative, but actually have to work for your item. But once, right. You have to do like research on it or something. So it'll be interesting. Is it really alright? Keiichi-san is pretty unreliable despite how he looks. Give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval ratings have plummeted in Satoko's mind. Don't worry. I'll clean those dishes up, no problem. So don't worry about it and go home. Actually, at this hour, I can't let you two go home by yourselves. I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike. Once you take it to home, Keiichi-san will be the one going home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Taksudo. There's no houses or lights out there at all. I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? She really is being critical, but yeah, this feeling I have, it's not bad. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw Satoko and Rika-chan to the gate. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural dinner. If Satoko hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now. Yowling? Truly, it's really good that we came. They really saved me. I gave him another bow filled with gratitude. Oh yes, I put the rice and side dishes into a container, so use that for your bento tomorrow. And for breakfast, you can eat some bread and jam. Strawberry jam and peanut butter were in your refrigerator, on the middle shelf to the right. Cocoa powder, too, was in the upper right door of the cupboard. I know all that. You don't have to go into detail, I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Satoko, who had appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan had said. That though she nagged a lot, she was very kind. I'm interested in trying out Valorant, but you know. Oh, what's wrong with Valorant? Or is it not? It's not free, right? Or I guess it's in closed beta and you have to get a key or something? I haven't played it myself, but I'm not a fan of it. I mean, it's similar to like CSGO, right? So it's free, but you need a key at the moment. Oh, okay, gotcha. And good night. Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do it for at least 5 minutes. I got it, Satoko. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast tomorrow. Brush your teeth for 5 minutes? I don't know about that. I mean, like 2 minutes is all you need. But you gotta floss and mouthwash as well. CSGO plus Overwatch, right, because of the abilities and ults. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have to play it for myself to see it, judge it, but if I didn't enjoy CSGO, and then I get so mad with Overwatch, kinda seems like it'd be a bad combination. I got it, Satoko. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast for tomorrow. And I'll be sure not to forget the bento. You need to wake up earlier than usual, or you won't be able to get your breakfast or bento ready. Got it? If you like, I can give you a call a little earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock. You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. You never played CSGO myself? Ah, okay. I mean, it's a classic, right? A lot of people enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. It's difficult. Headshots. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of like realistic, right? But also, I don't know, the system to it. You don't have to go that far. Exactly, yeah. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. Thanks for being so concerned about me. Satoko looked like she had more fault-finding to do. But she stopped and, leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the night-time road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. What's wrong, Rika-chan? Did you forget something? Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap. Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? Nearly burned down the house, after all. Satoko probably felt like her Nini had come home. I think she was having a lot of fun. Once in a while, I want you to go along with Satoko's scolding in the future. Are you telling me to be like an older brother that she can scold instead of Satoshi? Rika-chan didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all Nippa. This Satoshi person. He has such a great little sister. So what was he unhappy about? If I were Satoshi, I would never have run away from home. Satoshi had his own circumstances, I'm sure. I didn't know what he was unhappy with. Whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Satoko. I hope he comes back soon. Probably can't play the role for actual Nini forever, you know? It's okay. You're just like Satoshi today. Please do it again sometime. If that's what would make Satoko happy, I'd take on this easy role whenever I need to. Rika! Satoko stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited. Okay, I have to go. Good night. Yeah, night. I can't replace Satoshi, but Keiichi can do it. That's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder. Leave me with that. Rika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satoko, and then the two of them disappeared in the blink of an eye. Satoshi. Seriously, come back soon, got it? If you come home really late, I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try your best until that day comes, Satoko. Even if I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles. I stood there for a while, seeing them off. Is that the end of the chapter? It is. Oh, it is the end of the chapter. Satoko's Trap Course Elementary. You're on fire. This game is cute. It can be cute sometimes. But yeah, did you look at any JRPGs or anything? Satoko's Trap Course. Well, that's the first chapter. What time is it? 8:18. So we can probably do one more chapter, and then that'll be it for today. I know one thing for sure. Satoko could fend off an entire army division by holding up in this mountain. I know all about it. Satoko was one of the Soviet military advisors that gave training on traps to that one country. Stop saying weird things. Somebody help me. How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for? And how did we fall for them? Mion was caught in a profusely thin pitfall she couldn't escape from, and only her head was poking above the ground. Rena's head was completely covered by a tin bucket. She was squirming around in a vain attempt to remove it. Either of these really were funny, but that's where it ended. Like right now as we speak, I'm checking out Yakuza. Okay. I'm guessing Yakuza 0? I think it's best to start with 0 for that series, if I remember correctly. Just because you get more context for future games and whatnot. It's a series I'm definitely interested in, but I want to wait for Excel and stuff. And I think there's bundles on the PS4 as well. I don't know about Steam. I want to play 0, but it's $10. Kiwami is $5. Oh, okay. Kiwami is number 1, I think, right? The remaster of the first game. That's the only one that I've played. I've only played the first game, but it's been so long that I don't recall the events, the details. Either of these really were funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground. But you're right though, I gotta play 0 first. I see. Kei-chan, what about you? If I can get out of that. Hurry up and get out so you can save me, this old man. You're the one who should be breaking out and saving me, Neon. What are you expecting me to do in this freaking bamboo mat? I was wrapped up in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. What was this trap and how did I fall into it? Huh? It was Satoko. This all started when they suggested that I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city and proposed a little exploration on the mountain. But Rena doesn't really know how it is back there either. Rena might get lost. How? The mountain came out back, huh? I played there a lot when I was little, but I haven't gone there for years. If you get lost out there, things can get pretty dangerous. You can leave the mountain to us. The whole thing is our playground. Isn't that right, Rika? Mew. Oh, I see. How reassuring. We'll defer to you two this time and have you be our tour guides. Wait, Geichi-kun. The summer vacation guidebook says not to play on the mountain because you'll get lost. It isn't summer vacation yet, so it's alright. We know the path, so there's no need to worry. The mountain has always been our playground. Our backyard. We know all the secret paths and shortcuts. Yes, both Satoko and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had our fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got strange partway through. Oh yes, everyone, I have something to say. From here on, you must follow exactly where I go. Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden? It would be safer to do as Satoko says. Oh my. Hey, Mii-chan, look at this. What is it? Should I pull it? Should I? Suddenly, squeak, crash. When Rena pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down with the collateral right next to where Rena was standing. Bamboo spears. Wah! Wah! What is this? What? Yeah. That brings back memories. Satoko made this trap in the 2nd semester of 2nd grade. That was a close one. The tips of the spears are covered in dog poop, so if one of them hurts you, the wound will start to fester. What? When did this turn to freaking Vietnam? According to Satoko and Rika-chan, earlier in elementary school, Satoko had been on a trap-making craze and set them up along every inch of this mountain. Wow. Keiichi-kun, maybe they didn't tell us not to go on the mountain because we'd get lost, but because it was dangerous? Neon and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Rena's hypothesis. Come now, we're hurrying on ahead. If you do not return soon, it will get dark. If it gets dark, it may even become dangerous for me. But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. Why was an average healthy Japanese boy like me being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps? And then, the very moment Satoko and Rika-chan got just out of sight was when the 3 of us all got caught in nice little traps together. Someone get me out! I have to go to the bathroom. Never mind that. Somebody get the bucket off me. Can't see in front of me. How? Wait, Rena, don't struggle around so much. I can see your panties. Jesus. How? You saw? You saw? Keiichi-kun, you saw? How? Just smash, crash, smash, 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 crash, bash. Of course you can see them. Maybe in a bucket, but you can definitely go. Bucket Rena was using me as a sandbag, and Mion was crying. Can't get out of the pitfall? How sad. How sad. Jeez, didn't I already tell y'all? You weren't supposed to leave my side. I finally had an epiphany. Satoko had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps she set up here over the years. You could have stopped just at showing them to us. Didn't experience how it felt firsthand. Rika-chan pets our 3 heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood. Well, that's elementary. traps. Yeah, I need to play Zero first, as apparently it makes more sense once it gets a Kiwami. Fuck. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's probably for the best. Because I think 0 came out, like, after 6 came out, or something like that. It's, like, fairly recent. So... But chronologically, it's the first one. So it makes more sense. Yeah, let's go and save. Yeah, in 2018. 2018, when 0 came out? Damn. I didn't realize. What was that soon? That close? Alright, we saved. Oh, 2017. Okay. Still, that's pretty close. Day 26. Let's try to finish this chapter. Okay, anyway. Lunchtime has finally arrived. Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch. Ho 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 ho! Lunchtime at last. Someone here will have to play a punishment game, yes? How? The punishment this time. It's a little scary, so... Sorry, but Rena went all out on making her bento. In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously. We tried our hardest too. Sotoko and Rika-chan made separate lunches today. Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it? Yes, it's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones. Wow, Sotoko-chan and Rika-chan both tried really hard. How exciting. What's a little surprising is that Kei-chan was able to make a bento. Good job, Kei-chan. Looks like you really can do it if you try. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Sotoko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for. Oh shit, did he call us BRB, JP? Sounds good, Ham. Hope all is well. What does Keiichi-kun's bento look like? How? I can't wait to see. Don't expect too much. It's just the leftover rice and side dishes from last night. Leftovers are the foundation of bentos. Ho 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 ho! Now I'll know your dinner last night too. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Was it really better to hide the fact that Sotoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chie-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die. But me-chan, how will we decide who wins and who loses the bento showdown? Keiichi-kun made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today? We could do that. The punishment game yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Keiichi-san to cook for himself, after all. And Keiichi made his own too, so it's a draw. My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Sotoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. Oh, however, the club president, Mion Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that. I wonder why we are all so optimistic, leaving one of our showdowns in such a gray area is out of the question. Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Reconciling with the draw only happens in the Yakuza world. I knew you'd say that. There's no way you'd end it that way with your battle lust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss. Okay, me. How are we gonna decide who wins? It won't be fair if we grade each other's. Let's do an open judgment. Okay, everyone. Assemble. Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating, using her club president voice. Come and judge our 5 bento. Write your favorite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it. Understand? Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah, came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game, and they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying. Okay, everyone ready? Then I'll go first, alright? Ta-da! In exaggerated fashion, Mion put the lid off her multi-tiered, ornate bento box. Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight. That's amazing. It's just like New Year's food. It can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contents with the catered bento. Such purely Japanese cooking. Mion. Sonozaki couldn't possibly make this. Nope, this is easy for Mi-chan if she gets serious. She almost never gets serious about though. Just who do you think this old man is? Given enough time and ingredients, I could even reproduce the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hand simultaneously. It made sense. Just a visual impact would give her a perfect score. Alright, let's see Rena's next. Rena's really good at cooking too. Rena's bento is always like a flower arrangement. Hahaha. Thanks everyone. I'll reveal my bento now. Hey. Yeah, Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the two colors of eggs and mincemeat, and it too was a bento staple. The Soboro bento. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One could ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked. If I may say, you've done it again. This should get quite a high score. I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena, and on everyone's face it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them. Then we'll be next. Yes, I will now reveal mine. Come to think of it, Sotoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased, so that you give them more points. A few people struck by just that once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their notepaper. Satoko, Rika-chan, both made really good bentos today. They might not measure up to Rena or Mion's craftsmanship. When you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily. This is a secret, okay? Mutter. Eh? What? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun's bento boxes. Oh, those guys. I took a quick peek inside and... half the contents were missing. Not bad. In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move that got Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun to share their bentos with them. Hey, Tomita-kun, Okumura-kun, how did I buy you out? What are you saying, Mibara-san? When did we get bought out, and for what? That's right. It's not like we traded them our duty watering the garden for half-hour bentos. Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick. Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph. Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. Ho 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 ho. Yes, oh ho ho ho. How naive buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If you're gonna buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day with them on all fours, wearing tails and with leashes around their necks. Whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything. As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mion clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good. Alright, next up is Kei-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday, but how did it really turn out? H-kun can do it if he needs to. Brennan was really excited for today. They're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. Didn't even make it either. How is that supposed to stand up to Mion and Rena and the others? Ark, that's it. Feast your eyes on this! Ha! No. I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be. Keiichi-kun, you tried your hardest too. Rena can tell how hard you worked. Rena, don't feel like you need to compliment me. How did this happen? Is Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all? Kukuku. Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but for this showdown, it doesn't matter. Kukukuku. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinion, just like that. Keiichi-kun did really well, considering it was his first challenge, you know? I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter. Alright, Kei-chan. If you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them now. What do you mean by last words? I mean that you might be hoping for a few extra points if you appeal somehow to the crowd. After all, for today's showdown, you just need to avoid coming in last. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out of the punishment game. Oh ho ho ho! You are implying that Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you? No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. Mion cackled impulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile is growing somehow awkward. Oh right, this bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place. Mi-chan, aren't you being a little mean? Poor Keiichi-kun. Rena, Kei-chan knew he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he? He did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you? Right, Satoko? Yes, you are right. And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh. Ho 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 ho. Oh. Wait, Satoko-chan, you can't laugh at him. But that bento is just so ridiculous, I can't help but laugh. These side dishes look like they're bought from a shop. It's really disillusioning. Damn. Look, this one was just taken out of a can, wasn't it? This cucumber here isn't cut cleanly, like the knife didn't go all the way through. Kei-chan, you never used the knife, did you? Your lack of experience is apparent. Damn. No, this goes beyond a simple lack of experience. The presentation is fairly monotonous as well. It's almost a shock to see such a lack of taste. Ha 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 ha. Urk. It was my first experience putting food into a bento box, so of course it's not going to look too good. Kei-chan, there's a bigger problem than how you put it in the box. Tomita, Okamura, explain please. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward. The fatal flaw in Mibara-san's bento is the coloration. As you know, there are 3 primary colors forming the basis of all colors. So if you want a well-balanced color scheme, then excluding white and black, you need those 3 colors. Nevertheless, if you remove the white and black from Mibara-san's bento, all that would be left is dark green. Ah, dark green. No one wants to eat it if you describe it like that. I had forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun have been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they're trying their hardest to let them win. Make me lose, weren't they? Gah, what strong wills they have. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out. The side dishes have no spirit in them either. They're all pre-packaged or canned food. In other words, out of the 3 necessary requirements for a bento, love, spirit, and taste, we can assert that Mibara-san's bento is lacking 2 of these. The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery, they are thoroughly baffled with raised mysterious groans of admiration. Coo. No heart and no spirit. It's decided, then. Keiichi Maebara? This may sound cold, but if you realize how much fun cooking is because of all this, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? Enough? In any case, everything is fine as long as I'm not doing the punishment game. Rena was giving a dry smile as well. Oh. It's been settled, Keiichi-san. You're going to be the one doing the punishment game. Oh. She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of the bento that she'd practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit. But among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she was in a bad one, I won't let it end with this slander. Well then, last place, Keiichi-san. Please admit your honest defeat already. Could you wait just a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit. That's how he explained it. Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered and replied that I was right. How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? Then how would you rate these burns that are still on my hands? Wow, Keiichi-kun, those are oil burns? Great. The burn marks from where I almost caused a fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it. I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. As I thought, I cannot falter around this man. That's right, I like skill. I'm so bad at cooking that my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful. But I didn't run away. I fought, and I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think? Rena wants to acknowledge it. Nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued. The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid. I see. I understand your feelings, Maebara-san. However, if spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs. That's right. If a chef brought you burned steak and said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing. That's right. That's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. Gah, they did have a point. What about consideration? Even if you did get told a black steak, if I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would eat it. I would eat it all. Clup. This time the female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even. Besides, bento is a refinement of one's love given form. It only means something when the other person feels that way. Does your bento make us feel that way, Bar-san? No, it doesn't make me feel that way. You're mean! The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking. Order. Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks? Your Honor, in order to prove how much of my spirit has gone to this bento, I call Miss Ryugu Rena, an authority in the culinary arts, to the stand. Rena thinks this bento has spirit in it. It might be rather artless in places. But I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances. The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo. Your Honor, the opinions of Maebara-san and Ryugu-san are extremely sentimental and aren't in following with common sense. They are unsuitable to use as evidence. Order. The prosecution's objection is sustained. Go ahead. Let's replace the bento in question with a birthday present, for example. Let's say on my birthday, I, Tomita, received a hand-knitted sweater. and he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen. That felt strangely real. Suspiciously specific. Is it actually just an example? Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit. It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater. If we went back to the bento, this would be handmade side dishes. And the gift certificate, which is nothing more than money, allows you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless canned goods. Murmur. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn. Tomita-kun changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Objection. This matter regards the spirit put into the bento. It is entirely different from birthday presents, as they are each unique situations. Overruled. Will the prosecution please continue? Damn. When did this become Ace Attorney? Now then, what's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks a little bit askew and the 10,000 yen bookstore gift certificate placed here before your very eyes, which would you say is the better choice? The gift certificate, right? 10,000 yen. 10,000. Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could instantly complete a full collection if it was around 10 volumes long. Dozens of happy, humorous, slightly perverted manga. The bliss of your sweetheart can't be compared to the sweater. The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey wait, weren't you guys the one who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump all? That's the sense that we're taking now. I believe this has demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no casual relationship. Yes. No matter how much Maibara-san struggled to make this bento, that cannot enter into consideration for the rest of us on the receiving end. Mere sophistry, Tomita-kun. It has plenty of spirit. Whether that goes through or not is the receiver's problem. That's right. Boo. Taste is more important. Enemy of women. What was that, ugly? Ah, now the courtroom is in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. And not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor. Now then, do the defendants have a response to give? Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words? The prosecution just said that we should value the gift without basing it on the spirit of the giver, correct? At some point, I began speaking formally. Yes, that's right. No matter how much you labored to make that bento, that labor should not factor into our grading. And I have a question for the prosecution. If I, Maibara, were to take the bento I made for today and place it beside one bought from the store, would both of these be given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you. That's right. The convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a homemade one. No matter how badly made it is, it has far more spirit than a bento that you just bought would ever have. You see, that spirit is being graded, meaning the spirit the cook put into the bento has already reached the recipients. Admit it. Boom. With those impactful words thrown in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too. I'll admit it. You admitted it? You admitted it, right? But let's move to why a convenience store bento has no spirit in it. What exactly is the spirit in a bento in the first place? Objection! Maibara-san is trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Objection overruled. This sounds interesting, so listen until he's done. Got them. Now I'll show you two the difference between us. Your Honor, I'd like to call Miss Rika Furude to the stand as a witness. Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Rika Furude-san, your bento today was very well made. Looks delicious. Neat? Yes. Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos had been made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale, but they were too late. Rena, would you bring Okamura's bento over here? Huh? Okay, sure. Your Honor, my bento has no relevance to this case. Overruled. Ku. Your Honor, I submit Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence. Look at it. Look at what's inside. Ku. There's only half in there. It's not about whether there's half, please. Look a little more closely. See? They're exactly the same. Your Honor, you've seen it. Miss Rika Furude's bento is stolen from Okamura-kun's. There's no way such a thing could have spirit in it. No, but that's just a coincidence. It's already obvious. Spirit, it's a game of catch between the giver and the receiver. The bento box, then, is the ball. That bento is something Okamura-kun was given from mother to son. That means Okamura-kun is the only one who could feel the spirit from this bento box. Now that it's been deserved and it's stolen, it no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun! Yay, that did it. Huh? What? Is that true? Rika-chan, is that true? Nipa! Ku. I see how it is. Mion, the judge, folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I'd win or lose. Okay. Before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top. Shh. The entire classroom's quieted. First, from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt that the bento of the accused, Keiichi Mibara, must be seen as poorly made. This is something that the grading results clearly display. Gah. But as Kei-chan said, cooking is not all about taste. The spirit put into it should be considered sole seasoning. For grading, though, that would only amount to a few points. It's so subtle that it's not enough to alter the results. Grr. Now then, I'd like to mention the original reason for today's bento showdown. What was the reason for it? That's right. He started to see whether the accused, Keiichi Mibara, could cook for himself and measure the result. Yeah, that's right. Keiichi-kun did make his own bento. Urgh. That stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown it didn't matter. So the whole basis behind this showdown was to cook a meal for yourself. In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade. Rika-chan neglecting to do that is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is. In other words, is she disqualified? Nipa. Rika-chan let on Nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome. Don't take it personally, Rika-chan. At our club, things like that don't matter. Keiichi did well, like I thought. You tried your hardest until the very end. Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, then she petted. With that over with, this case is closed. Today, last place goes to Rika Furude. Whoa! That miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild. I'm amazed he managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento. Satoko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice. There's no way I'd come in last. There's nothing in this bento that would deserve last place. But it's got ready-made side dishes and canned goods, and has no style, and grab. Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to stroke it. I told you, spirit is important. This bento isn't all about appearance, it's got all kinds of flavors in it. But spirit isn't the only thing. It tastes totally weird, and what about it is weird? I thought it was great. It was absolutely great. That's why I packed it. If dinner last night had been bad, then I would never brought it to school. I would have come here with some bread and a milk carton. But... Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. At some point, Rena had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the beginning. When did you realize I had made it? when you showed when you showed us your burns, I guess. I mean, there's nothing in your bento that you needed oil for. Rena-san, don't you think you're misunderstanding something? I didn't do anything. Huh? Satoko-chan, you aren't the one who made this bento? Then did Keiichi-kun make it by himself after all? Okay, then I guess he did. Rena smiled roguishly and turned from Satoko to me. When you cut cucumbers, you hold the knife like this and go like this. As for the colors, you can express all sorts of things if you place vegetables in the right way. This lecture was clearly not meant for me. But you've gotten a lot better since last time you showed us. I see you've been studying. If you keep this up, I'll bet you'll be able to make better and better dishes in no time. She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. Satoko was wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at her. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I like the way my bento is today. Not gonna share it with anyone else either. I'll eat the whole thing by myself. Wow, how greedy. Rena wants to try some too. As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else. Excuse me, truth is, I got Tomita-san to give me some of his bento. Stupid. Hojo, what are you saying? If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh? Is that true? Really? Oh my. Milan spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand. I can't let Rika go alone. I'll accompany her to the very depths of hell. You don't need to go that far. My word, Keiichi-san really is terrible too. Humiliating only Rika like that. He is truly a rotten person. I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice. Hey, Satoko really is silly. Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily. Now then, let us be off, Rika. Punishment games are one of our duties as club members. Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn. Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron. Mion, I'll come clean too. I didn't make my bento today. I was the same, so I'm going with them. For the punishment game? Huh? Even you, Kei-chan? What's going on? Good luck. With the punishment game, I mean. I'll get the first aid kit ready. Call an ambulance in advance, will you? And maybe a hearse, just in case. Hearse? Leaving a bewildered Mion and a happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway. What are you doing? You finally won for once. I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games that you'd go as far as to volunteer yourself for one. Guess so. It's a little much for a hobby, eh? I swear, I think you're underestimating this one. For one thing. But grave harm might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. Hope you're ready to have 1 or 2 ribs broken. Or, that sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt. Keiichi-san, you just stand there and nod along, okay? Rika and I will smooth it over. I swear. Can't believe I have to look after you even during a punishment game. Seriously? I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile. Hey, I do want to eat some vegetable stir-fry, Satoko. Can you make that? What? Well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. She can make it very well. I really like Satoko's stir-fry. She was uneasy at first, but once she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes. It's settled then. Let's go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all. That is true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping at the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It would make me anxious if I wasn't watching. And Satoko makes me anxious that she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching. Rika, meet. Conversation continued as he walked into a rag before the door to the teacher's lounge. Okay, let's get this punishment game over with and discuss the menu for tonight. Meet. Riki-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. I won't let anyone die alone. We're all together. I won't let anybody die alone. What an indiscreet thing to say. I want no part of something so disturbing. She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was going to make me blush. Alright, just beyond this door is the world after death. However, we shall return. All of us will. Yes, everyone will. Then, let us sally forth. Slam. We open the door. We opened the doorway to the world of death. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chie-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day. Oh, hey. Whoa. Oh, my. Ibaru-kun, Furude-san, and Hojo-san. Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. Is she the corpse at the beginning? Huh. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more. Alright, let's do this. Ready? What do you mean, ready? Keiichi-san, you're gonna stay quiet. Rika and I will handle everything. Entrust your life to me for now. Go for it, yay! What are y'all doing? We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Alright, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply. And so... Hey, you, over there. You curry. What? What did she say? Oh, man. What time is it? 9:03? Okay. Probably call it there. I'm guessing we're not. Yeah, okay. I think we quick save. Let's see. Yeah, we got it. Okay. So we'll do a load from that. I'm guessing, yeah, we're gonna go shopping and then something's gonna happen, probably. Maybe more Satoshi foreshadowing or something. Learning about him. But I'm guessing the teacher is the corpse at the beginning then. Because woman in her 20s. I was thinking it was like a flashback to Totoko's guardian. I guess have they said who it was? No, they said it was like the aunt, right? Because it was like related to the parents. But yeah, guess that's it. So, I don't think there's any shoutouts, right? Oh yeah, no, there was one. Shout out to Orishiro-sama for the follow.
Nice.
Go ahead and replay that. And then, yeah, that's the stream. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. I guess, yeah, we should be on a regular schedule now. 6 a.m., 6:30. Most likely 6:30. And then, it's the shortest scenario, so maybe we finish it tomorrow? I don't know. We still haven't gone to the Watanagashi, so there's still that. So I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. Curious. Yeah, catch you guys later, have a good one, and bye!